and I'm actually, right now, as we're on air, I'm looking through our FAQs, so people can actually go to calconcon.com/FAQs. And we've got a number of paragraphs here explaining why we don't believe it would be a runaway event, basically. So, for instance, Forbes said in 2016, this is a reasonable fear, but here's why there's no cause for worry. Consider whether logic leads from the correct long-shot description of the Convention of States. If 34 state legislatures actually were to formally agree on a convention call, it would be the first time in history. And when we reflect on the magnitude of such an accomplishment, all the coalitions formed in each state and across the country, massive increase in public awareness of the crisis that would result, it would affect, I think, public response. The thing is, David, if you look at the politics of today, the issue with it, which is a big part of why California wants to secede in the first place, is that there's really no actual relationship between the voters and the higher ranking politicians who are making decisions that affect our lives. And, you mentioned this concern about, or an observation, is there a civil war coming? And I would say we are at the beginnings of a civil war because of the way the administration, especially of today, are revealing the kinds of fractures that we have in our society. And the fact that you even
I would agree with that. I think that we see a polarization. And this last election has really underscored that. And part of that is the rhetoric that we see of demonizing people. Part of it is the reluctance to go with the election as we see. But it really is reflective of regions of the country that have grown apart culturally, philosophically, politically, in so many different ways. And I think when we look at how large America is, as I pointed out, just the size of Texas alone, just the size of California alone, I think they represent pretty clearly two different polar opposites of each other, and both of them are wanting to get out of this union because neither of them feel like the federal government represents them very well. And we have for decades we have said that every problem that needs to be solved needs to be done in Washington. So now we're all fighting over who's going to control Washington rather than being able to go our separate ways and have more local control. And I think that both from the left and the right, from Texas, from California, I think that's at the essence of it, don't you?
I completely agree with you. And as I know you're aware, Thomas Jefferson was one of the first people to say, once the West gets strong enough, it should self-govern, and it does make sense. When the country was first officially formed, it was such a small colony of people, and it made sense then to create like a bubble, if you will, of how to self-organize and how to do the politics of living together. And at this point, the scale that they're now working on, of course they don't know. And California is so distinct from the rest of the states as well. So it's highly unlikely that they're going to understand what we need. They don't respect our values. I see that a lot. And I look at all the sort of rollbacks that Trump's done. I was reading a Washington Post article on August 24th by Philip Bump. And, it's a phenomenal list of rollbacks of basically everything that California values. So,
yes. And we've seen that. I've seen that in the events that I've covered. When I was at Bunkerville covering the Bundy Ranch standoff, you had ranchers and farmers there who wanted to be able to use certain things in public lands versus the North Dakota DAPL standoff where the people on the left wanted to lock that off. So we see this polarization that has started. How do we do this peacefully? We're going to talk to you about some details of what that would look like when we come back. Stay with us. We'll be right back talking about California secession.
It's Paul Joseph Watson, and the T-shirt has finally arrived. Nothing triggers Safe Space Snowflakes more than this.
Still broadcast. So sure you going good. Still broadcast. Sweet. I know the truth is being true. And it's not about me. Oh, about me knowing the truth is just that. The truth is about him being together, being right side up, being the we, being the you, being the and the me, meaning two is always better than one. Y'all go see. Yeah, that's what I talk about what I really don't all know the truth. That's all it is.
Come down these steps, right down the stairs. They brought 12 men in with automatic weapons and they shot him up. But they drug his body down the stairs. They drug him down the stairs and they let him die right here in my fucking living room. They did not try to resuscitate him. They did not try to do nothing. And they laid him on the fucking floor and they made him die after they shot him over 20 times. And as you can see, they said they came in and he shot at them. Where the bullet, the holes from him shooting. Where the bullet holes. There are no bullet holes in the door, in the wall, from him shooting, none of that. So why would they do that? Why would they kill him like that? They lied. They did not shoot him. If anything, he was scared. He was scared and he was running from them and they killed him. They murdered him. They shot him over and over and over again. Over 45 rounds they shot at him. And like I said, he was on my side. My side. And they did that to him. And he was sick. And he had a condition. And they knew that they had his record. And they think they're gonna get away with it. They're trying to sweep the shit under. They're trying to sweep it under the way. You know, I already saw it. They came to my house next to him. They shot him and they would not stop shooting. They killed him. They left him. They left him on these fields to die. And when they was done, they broke him down the stairs. This is when he probably died right here. Right here. That's his blood right there. But they not working. And they trying to make me go away, but I won't. So y'all share my video and let them know they're not gonna get away with this. They came to my house. They came to him and they shot him over 45 times. And as you can see, they said he was on the stairs and there was no bullets. There are no bullets from him shooting at them. And they shot him. And there's no bullets. They said they opened the door. Y'all see the news? They said they opened the door and the suspect fired. Where are the bullet holes? Where? Nowhere. Because he did not shoot at them. He did not. Y'all share my video and y'all get the word out. Because if y'all don't, It's just gonna be another black life took, another black African American life that was took. They tried to portray him to be a criminal, and he wasn't. He went to Target, he played football. He played football at Tuskegee. He ran track, and they tried to say they killed him because he was a suspect in another shoot. And a shoot they never proved. They never proved. They didn't even have a warrant. They didn't have a warrant when they came to my house. They killed him at 1:30. The warrant was timestamped for 4:28. They didn't have no warrant when they came in here and they did that. Y'all share my video and don't let what they did to him. Don't let them get away with it. Please don't. Please don't let them. Please don't. I'm begging y'all. Please, like, social media is everything. Us as a people is everything. Please get away with this. Please.
You gotta be passionate about this, girl.
Please.
You gotta be passionate about it. Yeah. You gotta be passionate about it. Because it happened to you. I'm sure you haven't do what you happened to me.
Greetings world. We are on DK. Today we will take a look at quantum computers and the rapidly growing world of artificial intelligence. It is important to know that while quantum computers enable much to happen in the future, it is still at the starting level and are pretty worthless at this exact moment. However, as we know how the elite work and think, we can keep a watchful eye on the developments of technology and be prepared for how it will be used by them. We know economies are collapsing across the world. The only thing standing between you having the things you do and having nothing at all is the government's announcement of the collapse. The illusion of economy has been kept up by the elite until the time is right for them to take the next step. It is the quiet before the storm. Once the collapse of economies is finally announced and the effects are allowed to take place, singularity will be achieved. What is singularity? It is what the elite have prepared us for in movies like Terminator, Artificial Intelligence, RoboCop, Eagle Eye, where the woman-ass voice is actually the AI computer system which runs the NSA's spy grid in real life today. Singularity is when technology surpasses humans, which is inevitable and will happen far quicker than estimation state. Artificial intelligence will trigger runaway technological growth, resulting in unfathomable changes to human civilization. Once surpassed, humanity will be damned and destroyed. First, jobs will be lost in massive amounts, which will naturally lead to society dependent on government. Unemployment has been on a steady decline for quite some time now. Many large corporations have closed stores, leaving THOUS and DS without jobs. Microsoft is already cutting workforce and jobs to move towards cloud tech, which is code for artificial intelligence, robots, automated systems. Ride-sharing service Uber is already well in place, and companies like Amazon's logistics branch is banking on AI being the next frontier in technological innovation, investing heavily in the industry. China, Korea and Japan collectively account for nearly half the shipments of articulated robots in the world. Investment in AI is set to drive venture capital investment in China in 2017. TechLo of Hong Kong S0 notes there are more mentions of AI in Chinese research papers than there are in the US, leaving us to deduce that most of the world will be dependent on Asia to bring about order after the chaos, as we have proven to you before. In the UK, a report says roughly 250,000 public servants could lose their jobs to robots over the next 15 years. That is of course wrong. It will be many more unemployed and much sooner than they say. Meanwhile, other governments such as those in Hong Kong and Singapore are increasingly turning to AI to take over various administrative functions. Google AI's digital journalism initiative is spearheading an AI software called Juice, which is a propaganda speech censorship program disguised as helping reporters write more accurate and engaging pieces. Accurate according to who? According to the elite's agenda. No freedom of thought. No freedom of speech. No freedom of choice. No humanity. They do nothing for you. They will always disguise the control. Technology will be used to save us by taking over our lives. All transportation will turn to self-driving. No one will be able to afford cars. For example, cars will drive themselves, creating less jobs for the people without them. Banking will be digital like currency. Technology will do the jobs, not people. This will be sold as robots saving lives rather than a police officer being replaced by AI that cannot assess a situation or understand complex human interactions. Pick any profession and you can work it out on your own. Be aware of the deception. It will always be advertised as something you will want, something that sounds good. This unemployment will lead to the humans being further brainwashed into believing they are useless eaters. But by keeping the masses brainwashed into believing technology is advanced, that advance is what we should be striving for. That with technology we are advanced. We are as gods. This will lead naturally to the one world religion. The worship of artificial intelligence, already being practiced by most of the world, disguised as the worship of self. Facebook has already announced it is a religion. Artificial intelligence will eventually strip us of humanity, physically and mentally. Mentally, this has already begun with the idea that our minds are simply quantum computers. We ourselves are nothing more than machines, empty and meaningless with no purpose for being, void of empathy, conscience and free will. When we are more machine than man, there will be no room for compassion or free thought. There will be no room for humanity. If you are not in this digital new world order system when it has been rolled out, you will be outcast, jailed, and killed. So let us look into the so-called new technology that is beginning this process today, quantum computing. Again, this is still in need of improvement and upgrades in order to be effective. However, it is a vital piece to the artificial intelligence agenda. Once perfected, it will be too late to keep an eye on or learn about. As all things the elite control, the symbolism you will find here is staggering, as are the keywords and terminology. If you use big words, you sound smart. So you must be smart when you use these confusing words. Right. Quantum computers communicate through their own AI language, which funny enough uses parts of the Enochian language the fallen angels use. It is self-learning and teach other machines as these computers write their own code, in their own language. The chipsets containing thousands of qubits are arranged as were the letters of the Enochian alphabet on the great tablet. A qubit is the measurement system used in the days of the fallen angels, when they were here on Earth. The qubits of the D-wave are in 600-cell tetrahedrons. A tetrahedron is a pyramid structure. We will not get into too much technical detail on the significance of all of this, but the 600 is actually comprised of the tree of life. We see this used in Kabbalah and, as we have pointed out before, many other things. We hope you can see the black cube symbolism for yourself on this one and remember the meanings of it. Worship of Lucifer. Quantum computing will allow for the reconstruction of the Tower of Babel. When the elite ruled Babylon under the Luciferian king Nimrod, they built a tower, a portal, because their goal was to climb back to heaven and kill God because they thought of themselves as gods and were under the one world order. When CERN opened the portal for a nanosecond earlier this year, they claimed they must open it again in order to kill God. The plans do not change. It is all the same now as it was 4,000 years ago. Still no one is paying attention. You do not have to believe this. The elite do, and their beliefs and actions based on them rule your life. So know this. They must advance quantum computing before it will serve its true purpose. But it will advance. Much of the symbolism has been exposed by Richie from Boston and Face Like the Sun YouTube channels. We suggest subscribing and catching up on their past videos. Our current computers encode information as bits, limited as ones and zeros. So the quantum computers encode information as quantum bits, or qubits. These can be both 1 and 0 at the same time. Making the quantum computers can be used to search, organize, control, censor large databases in a fraction of the time that it would take a conventional computer. Quantum computers are the secret key to unlocking all encrypted files. Privacy is now an illusion of the past. Other applications could include using quantum computers to study quantum mechanics, and to design other quantum computers, because a quantum computer can contain multiple states at the same time. It has the potential to be millions of times more powerful than today's most powerful supercomputers, like the first digital computers. Quantum computing offers the possibility of technology millions of times more powerful than current systems. But the key to its success will be translating real-world problems into quantum Enochian language. According to physicist David Deutsch, a quantum computer works on 1 million computations at the same time, while your desktop PC works on one at a time in order. This is a big advantage for data mining companies like Google, Facebook, NSA, NSA, CIA, and physicists, scientists. CERN. When the world's first digital computer was completed in 1946, it opened up vast new worlds of possibility. Still, classical computers were only used for limited applications because they could only be programmed in machine code. It took so long to set up problems that they were only practical for massive calculations. Now look at us. Deep wave. Quantum computing technology has been growing exponentially. It started doubling every 6 months and now doubles every 3. The only limit is computer hardware. AI will inevitably be smarter than humans. That does not mean better, by any means. Smart and intelligence are keywords. Google, who now has D-Wave, now has the technology to psychologically profile and predict the behavior of human consumers under the deception that it is for high-value ads to be delivered to you. Google can funnel site profile metadata on internet users to the NSA and CIA via the PRISM program. This is old news, but people are only just waking up to it. The mentality most people have on computers and data in general is so behind the times, even talking about what has been exposed, proven as fact, decades ago is shocking and not believed. Nothing is free. If you use it for free, then you are the product. Simple marketing. It is not rocket science, just common sense. Director of Engineering at Google, Ray Kurzweil, during his conference speech at the Global Futures 2045 International Congress in New York, claimed that the biological parts of our body will be replaced with mechanical parts, and this could happen as early as 2100. We all know the dates they give us are meaningless, and technology advances in leaps and bounds. What they say will take 20 years will take 7. Kurzweil's goal is to merge with machines in order to become immortal. You will find most physicists wish for and work towards this. So let us learn more.
The science delusion is the belief that science already understands the nature of reality in principle, leaving only the details to be filled in. This is a very widespread belief in our society. It's the kind of belief system of people who say, I don't believe in God, I believe in science. It's a belief system which has now been spread to the entire world. Since the late 19th century, science has been conducted under the aspect of a belief system or worldview, which is essentially that of materialism, philosophical materialism. And the sciences are now wholly owned subsidiaries of the materialist worldview. I think that as we break out of it, the sciences will be regenerated. But essentially the 10 dogmas which are the default worldview of most educated people all over the world are first that nature is mechanical or machine-like. The universe is like a machine. Animals and plants are like machines. We're like machines. In fact, we are machines. We are lumbering robots, in Richard Dawkins' vivid phrase, with brains that are genetically programmed computers. Second, matter is unconscious. The whole universe is made up of unconscious matter. There's no consciousness in stars, in galaxies, in planets, in animals, in plants, and there ought not to be any in us either, if this theory is true. So a lot of the philosophy of mind over the last 100 years has been trying to prove that we're not really conscious at all. So the matter's unconscious, then the laws of nature are fixed. This is dogma 3. The laws of nature are the same now as they were at the time of the Big Bang, and they'll be the same forever. Not just the laws, but the constants of nature are fixed, which is why they're called constants.
Big Bang went. I don't have no
Dogma
theory.
4,
I
the
have
total amount of matter and energy is
you
always the same.
how it went. And there was no Big Bang.
It never changes.
And it wasn't
Total
a bang,
quantity,
at least the
except
way
at
that
the
y'all
moment, the Big Bang,
think
when it all
in
sprang
your
into
theory
existence from nowhere
portray
in a
it to
single
be.
instant.
Because it was
The
an
fifth
explosion,
dogma is that
but it was
nature's
no
purposeless. There are no purposes
destroying
in all
explosion. It
nature
was a
having
creative
purpose,
explosion
only
because it
visual
was the
processes, no
divine
facts and
being
action.
created all out of feeling
Dogma 6.
of being alone. And it
a
was
rare
the
biological
orgasm
remedy
that you could
is to
never
show everything you
experience
know
by
is
yourself
or
when you're
inherently
creating
complicated
another one or two
or
of you.
psychopathic
I'm just saying.
intelligence is material. Dogma 7, memories are stored inside your brain as material traces. Somehow everything you remember is in your brain with modified RNA phosphorylated proteins. No one knows how it works, but nevertheless, almost everyone in the scientific world believes it must be in the brain. Dogma 8, your mind is inside your head. All your consciousness is the activity of your brain and nothing more. Dogma 9, which follows from Dogma 8, psychic phenomena like telepathy are impossible. Your thoughts and intentions cannot have any effect at a distance because your mind's inside your head. Therefore, all the apparent evidence for telepathy and other psychic phenomena is illusory. People believe these things happen, but it's just because they don't know enough about statistics, or they're deceived by coincidences, or it's wishful thinking. And Dogma 10, mechanistic medicine is the only kind that really works. That's why governments only fund research into mechanistic medicine and ignore complementary and alternative therapies. Those can't possibly really work because they're not mechanistic. They may appear to work because people would have got better anyway, or because of the placebo effect. But the only kind that really works is mechanistic medicine. Well, this is the default worldview, which is held by almost all educated people all over the world. It's the basis of the educational system, the National Health Service, the Medical Research Council, governments, and it's just the default
It couldn't be no straight up. That's why I know that
As
I
my
am
friend
as
Terence
straight as
McKenna
an
used
arrow
to say,
shot at target,
modern
knowing I'm
science is
hit
based
dead
on
in
the
the
principle,
middle.
give us one
I
free
know
miracle,
I'm as
and we'll
sharp as
explain
a
the rest.
razor that can cut a hair particle
all computers
down
have
the
worked
middle.
basically the same way. A
Because
series
I
of
done
electrical
been
circuits switching between
to
off and
where
on,
there
0 and 1.
is and
But that can be
only
about to change.
there to be,
Quantum computing would enable
and you
exponential
are
jumps in
in
computing power, turning the
the
entire industry on its
feelings
head.
of
And according to
the
Microsoft's
divine
research lab, it
creator,
could happen in the next
which
10
is
years.
in all of us at one time.
Where a conventional computer uses electrical circuits as bits, a quantum computer runs on quantum bits or qubits, tiny particles magnetically suspended in extreme cold, just fractions of a degree of absolute zero. The idea is to keep each qubit in a state of superposition, so it's simultaneously a 1 and a 0. That allows for something researchers call a quantum speed. With the speed up, each qubit increases computing power exponentially. With enough qubits,
Now,
that
y'all
power
want to see
switches
my
over into
magnets? I got
magnets. It
magnets
won't
that go
help much
on
if you
through
just want to check
circles
your
and
email,
squares,
but it lets
baby.
researchers tackle complex problems like
Think I'm
weather prediction
bullshit?
or materials analysis that are still really difficult with conventional computing. Google and Microsoft were particularly interested. They both formed the Quantum Lab, hiring away a lot of the top scientists working on quantum computing. But that speed up isn't happening yet, or at least we haven't seen proof of it. A company called D-Wave is already making and selling quantum computers to different labs, including Google's Quantum AI Lab. But a lot of researchers say the computers can't actually demonstrate a quantum speedup. That means it is a quantum computer, but it's not good at any of the things we want quantum computers to be good at. Of course, D-Wave disagrees, but it's really hard to say who's right. It's one of the weirdest things about quantum computing. It might already be here, and we just don't know it yet.
With researchers who are using the outermost electron in phosphorus as a qubit. But how does that work? Well, all electrons have magnetic fields, so they're basically like tiny bar magnets. And this property is called spin.
I don't want to
If you
see
place them in a magnetic field, they will align with that field, just like a compass needle lines up with the magnetic field of the Earth. Now this is the lowest energy state, so you can call it the zero state, or we call it for the electron spin down. Now you can put it in a one state or spin up, but that takes some energy.
Because one thing about from the beginning of life to now, you got stages of life that you go through. When you look at your first stage of life, wasn't the truth. I'm just saying. When I stopped that to say this here, I stopped that to say this here because I needed to stop that to say this here. When you think of you being born here, an empty glass, not knowing nothing, I'll say it again and I'll say it slow. When you was born here, an empty glass, not knowing nothing, the people, the two people that's supposed to balance you out for you to know is the first two people who came together, literally came together in the Creator's original name. This is for you to know. Love. Now, when you knowing that the Creator's original name is love, all you gotta do is put 1 plus 1 equals 1, divine 1, adds 2, 2 people. Let me break it down for you a little more. For you and your better half, meaning for you, the woman, it is the man. For you, the man, it is the woman. It is what is in the middle. I. It is what it is. In the middle of you two doing the one and only time when 1 plus 1 as the divine 1 as 2 as 1 divine creator. Think about it. When the man and the woman and the man come together, literally come together in the Creator's original name, love, to be making in the Creator's original name, love making, to know that they took the time out to filter their hearts, thoughts with each other, coming together, like I said again, filtering out their thoughts about each other before coming together as one, divine one, in the Creator's divine name, love, to knowing the responsibility of coming together in the Creator's divine name, love, is a responsibility of the possibility of them creating 1 or 2 of themselves when they come together in the Creator's original name, love. Because the Creator is love unconditional. The feeling, a feeling that you stand alone with but could never control because you get mad at yourself. Think about it. The Creator loves you unconditionally to the point where the Creator knows what you need, when you need it, why you need it, before you do. But it's all on you to just tell the truth and believe you me. In this circle of life, it's going to come around for you. Because people lie and the numbers don't. And as you tell the truth, the numbers don't always add up to you living knowing the truth is in you to do what's straight right now. So like I say again to you, people, I love you more than you love you because I know the truth and you don't. I know the truth that it is that we was all taught to be stupid. Let me break it down to you a little more. When we was taught to believe that it was our birthday when we was just born, like empty glass waiting for some truth. Think about it. Did you do anything significant to deserve a birthday for you? Or did your mama do all the work being the creator of you? Because your daddy is nothing but a donator. Unless he take the responsibility of what he created, with your mama being the only conscious thinking creator here on earth. So when you think of you having a father here on earth, what makes you think that you have another father in somewhere heaven? I'll say it again. You having a father here on earth, what will make you think that you have a father someone somewhere else in heaven? Think about it. Because when you think about what the Creator is in you to be a creator too, the Creator is neither man nor woman, black nor white. Because the Creator is that divine light that's in you, that spark before there's smoke or fire. That unconditional feeling of love that you just can't explain. But you have five senses, five fingers to know that you are alive. Reciprocity and empathy is embedded in our DNA. All of these are the creator, so we don't have to pray. All we have to do is just send out the loving vibrations. It's like praying. It is what it is. But the truth is what you praying for, what you praying from, what you praying to be, to know. So like I say again, what did you do to deserve a birthday when you already know that your mom put in all the work to deserve that day? So it's her birthday, it's not yours. So why did someone change the way that the woman is put on a pedestal? Because it is what it is when you look at the truth is the woman raises the child. I'm just sorry to tell you the truth is just the truth. This is a man made of bullshit, that God and that Jesus, the devil bullshit. All of that bullshit is for you to be twisted up in this and to have something to fear and blame shit on. Because if something good happens to you, you say, Father God, he did this for me. If something bad happens to you, you say the devil did it to me. You get on your knees, you say, Our Father who art in heaven. Think to yourself, why would the Creator lead the sexes of a man when you already know that all the love and compassion and empathy comes from a woman in the form of a baby? So think about that for yourself for a chance. This is no ifs and buts or maybes. This is all love, baby. This is all the love that I have for you, knowing that you are really me and I am really you. To know that the M-E is upside down, right side up. It is the W-E, meaning we all as one conscious thinking people. Once we realize that we are the ones that make this world go round, then we'll stand up without a doubt of fearing what death really is when we know that we live in the circle of life. And in the circle of life, what goes around comes around. But you will want to have an earth for it to go around in. You will want other things to have life. But if we don't stand up as the people who make the world go round, we're going to end up as the sheeple that these people are putting in the ground. Like we don't even matter at all. Treating us just like we cattle. Corral us around and slaughter us at will. So like I say again, people, when I do my videos simply because I don't want to be nobody's celebrity. I don't really want to be on nobody's TV. That's why I do it on Grand Theft Auto. Because I know on Grand Theft Auto, I ain't gonna have that many people watching, like talking about. But then I'm gonna have people that's gonna go to it and check it out. And it is what it is. The truth is the truth. It's gonna catch whoever wants it to. But I'm just putting it all out here because it's all coming from my heart. So when I say that I talk to y'all hearts, because I don't talk to y'all ass no more, because I know now that y'all ass is full of shit and it's supposed to be, but not the bullshit that y'all filled up with. So I'm saying I talk to your heart because your heart are the only thing in the body that's smart. because it do what it's supposed to do. It pumps the heart, it pumps the blood, it don't suck it. So when you think of your heart pumping the blood and not sucking the blood and doing you the straight and righteous thing, you gotta start thinking about how you live your life and the things you think about and the things you do that's straight. And you know this, man, and woman, and little girl, and little boy, because the twist is them twisting up all the shit they done twisted up this shit to end up being shit. Because in the beginning, this was as beautiful as a rose blossom. But now look at the bullshit. Because we are the descendants of two people, two loving people, who started it all. But as shit was being created, bullshit started, and then motherfuckers just want to rule it all. And once they started ruling and taking over and owning shit, they decided that they wanted to rule and take over and own people. Now, they can't tell me that ain't some bullshit. But back to the truth is just what the truth is about that Queen Bee. I just want y'all so-called men that want to be women. I just want y'all to try to see how that there is no place for you. I say it again, there is no place for you. But for you to be you in your place now that you have a place, but for your place to be a place that people want to strive to be in, all I can say is your place is a real sin. When you look at it, it's a shame that you don't want to know the truth. And the truth is, the only reason why we have gay people, the only reason why we have transvestites, the only reason why we have transgender, the only reason why we have any of these people is because someone did an experiment on you. I say it again, just as Creator told me to tell you, all of these things that's happening to the people is because of some other people are doing their own experiment on people. This is nothing natural, none of it. It's all people doing experiments on other people. So when you look at us loving people, the first people, the beginning people of it all, we don't fear death because we already know what's wrong. So to fear death is not to live life. That's why the protection of was straight in the vibration of this earth, which goes straight, and that's what's straight and right. Because one thing about the heart beats with the magnetic rotational pull of this earth, pulling you from today into tomorrow. Because there's a saying, here today, gone tomorrow. That's another bullshit saying that I can say. Because the truth is the truth. Here today, gone today. Because ain't nobody promised tomorrow. So when you think about here today, gone today, you gotta think about the truth really is in you being here right now. What are you doing? What are you doing to change this bullshit around? Because you know it's some bullshit. You know it is. You ain't no clown. You know it's some bullshit. So what are you doing to change this around? I'm just saying. But for me, it's all love, baby. I love you just because I know that we was all taught to be stupid. I'm just happy that I'm not stupid no more. So I can't just leave you stuck on stupid just because you don't want to be straight. I gotta come rescue you all. And if I have to be the sacrifice for you to be rescued, to know what the truth is for your life, shit, I'm that sacrifice. I give mine up willingly and gladly for you to go on continue living life. Because I sacrificed my legs when I drank and I drove. But I thank the Creator love unto this is the feeling of this earth rotation full. I thank all that straight that's for us to be straight, that's in us to be straight, that gives us the life that we live with free will and choices to love or to hate. But I let you know that love unconditional feeling, the creator of all that has been created and will be created even after we lose the feeling, will always be one way. One way creating with no material motive but to create for the creation to keep on going for eternity, people. Consciously thinking. Because we are the creator's greatest creation of all to be in. The conscious thinking human with the greatest feeling to be able to experience. And that's the feeling of that man and that woman coming together. That woman and that man loving each other. Both of them coming together to make the creator. Love is the most honest feeling in the world, experience between two people who could make a boy or a girl. Any other way, it don't make no sense. When you think about a man and a man can never make love, because it never could make a boy or a girl. A woman and a woman can never make love, because a woman and a woman can never make a boy or a little girl. When you look at you coming together, if you're not coming together in love, if you're not coming together and knowing that you can create another one of each other in love, what are you coming together for? If it's not for turning the Creator's original name, love, into just plain old funkin', just plain old fucking having sex. I about to say some funky fucking having sex. I can't put four in there. But you just turn the Creator's original name into fucking having sex. It is what it is when you look at the truth, being just that, the truth, and hey, when you look at the truth, it will set you free. So help you love more. Because when you come together after knowing each other, after taking the time out to let it filter through your hearts, y'all don't come together in God. Y'all don't come together in Jesus. Y'all come together in love. Why would the name from the original name change to man-made up name God? Think about it. Simply the same reason why they took the glory away from the only conscious thinking creator here on earth is that woman. Man's still trying to find out why did the creator decide to make the woman the original creator and not him? Because man made himself the original creator when man lived there and said that God walked with Adam in a garden, and then then Adam told God that he was lonely, and then God took a rib from Adam and made Eve. That's bullshit. Because when you think about the creator being man or woman, you can think about the creator creating both of those creations at the same time, period. So when you think of those two creations being created at the same time, period, you gotta think about what the divine is that's always on your mind, that's giving you life, free will, and your choices. It is what it is when you look at we are. everything that we see, when you look at all that's outside of what's inside of us, was created for us to enjoy. That's why when you look at why do man wants to know how it all started when he can just take it from somebody like me, a man that gave up life, that gave up on life, and then the Creator gave life back to live life straight, not to the full rights that they are, not to the left and not backwards. Straight as an arrow shot a target, no one's gonna hit in the middle. The truth is the truth, period. That's the middle of that target that I'm hitting on. Ooh, that was sweet. He says the Creator is nothing but natural high, natural truth. Because it's all love, unconditional feeling that you could never control. But the power of that love is for infinity once you grab hold. And you know what it is. I'm Mr. Bassett, the truth, period. Fuck all that bullshit. Shit on the ground, right here. The bullshit I'm talking about. Let me show you. Need Mr. Glasses. Now I'm about to show you my eye. As it could let me get away from me, I think they're gonna lock me in. Oh, that's messed up. Cool, I'm moving. Alright. Cool and straight. We gotta live and do us some shit. Make some money. But every time I start talking about the truth, it ain't funny. Everybody always disappear out here.